and welcome to Sunday. Jimmy and the Fat Man on location at the football. Collingwood versus Carlton at the MCG. It's very gloomy skies out there. I wouldn't have been skydiving in this yesterday. Thank you everyone who commented and messaged about yesterday. It was one of the best experiences of my life, skydiving. Definitely the most terrified I've ever been in my whole entire life, particularly when we got out and struggled to breathe for a little bit, but it's all part and parcel of the great genie gig, as they say. Anyway, let's get to the football. Collingwood versus Carlton. Collingwood are sitting in 10th or 11th at the moment. Carlton in the top four and fighting to stay in the top four. They've had a good year. They've got the lowest percentage of anyone in the top four. They've had a couple of really close wins, particularly gotten out to big leads and teams have run them down. But Carlton have still, to their credit, been able to hold on. And in the end, doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. And the fact that they've been able to hold on, that shows that they've got a bit of maturity about them. With Carlton, teams of old would have lost all of those games. Collingwood have struggled 2 weeks in a row, with pretty significant losses against the Doggies and Richmond. But really, came to the fore last week against Fremantle in really shocking conditions to beat the team who beat Melbourne last night. So at their home ground. So that was definitely our best win for the year. So look, it's going to be a great game. Carlton, obviously their big forward line and their big midfield are going to be really hard for us to stop, particularly with Charlie Curnow doing what he's doing. Harry Mackay is going to be a big out for them, but yeah, Charlie Curnow being where he is in the form that he is, I mean, he's pretty much the single-handed difference about why Carlton are playing the way they're playing. He's able to just do what he does, and I've got much respect for Charlie Curnow. He's a great player. Who else we got? Who else is there? You've got the midfield's obviously Carlton's midfield dominating. They're dominating clearance, they're dominating possession count. Carlton have had more possessions than any other team in the league at the moment. So, Collingwood are going to be have to be at their best to match. If not, then it's going to be up to our defence. And we do have historically good defence, even though they struggled a little bit this year. They were back to their best last week, mainly because we defended the defence. We weren't defending the middle of the ground. We decided to roll the players back a position, and instead of defending our last defender being in the centre, then our last defender was at centre half back. And what that meant was when Fremantle had a quick shot down the ground, Darcy Moore was back, and they had to slow down and think of what they were doing. They didn't get those over the goose goals that teams have gotten so easily against us this year, which has been so frustrating to get. So pretty much there was an unchanged extended lineup from last week. The only change we've really had from the game, Ollie Henry in after his great 4 goals last week, and Beau McCreary out now. Look, Beau McCreary to me has really struggled this year. I don't think he's really done a lot. So kicked 3 or 4 goals, averaging 8 or 9 possessions a game. Well, last week I thought was probably the best game he's played, but again, it wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination. And it would have been, I reckon, out of either him or Tyler Brown. And considering Tyler Brown showed what he could do as second ruck, Tyler Brown was always going to stay in that side. So I'm okay with that out. If not, I'd be shocked because, like I said, Beau McCreary has been, he's played worse and kept his spot. But I guess we had to put someone in the forward line for Ollie Henry. So we're going to have a forward line now of Ollie Henry, Jamie Elliott, and Brody Mychek, which none of them are Charlie Curnow, but they're all goal scorers in their own right. So look, let's look at both teams. Like I said, so Carlton have a really good forward line. Their midfield on paper is definitely better than ours, but as we know, with football, it's all mental, and it's whoever's ready to play the game. We've seen better midfield struggle. Fremantle are a lot better side than Collingwood, and they really struggled last week. I'm not sure why I'm yawning. Probably the weather. I've got the heater on the car. But look, I didn't do Thursday night footy this week. It's just really, really busy. But look, I'm tipping this is going to be the upset of the round. I would have tipped Hawthorn to beat Gold Coast, but look, Gold Coast won. No, I'm not. Hang on, I was over there, wasn't it? So yeah, I would have tipped Gold Coast to beat Hawthorn anyway. So look, this is going to be my upset of the round. I'm tipping Collingwood to beat Carlton by goal. Look, I haven't really got my tips right with regards to Collingwood. When I've tipped Collingwood, we've won. Lost them when I haven't tipped them, we've won. So take what you will. Doesn't bode really well for us winning. But look, I'm going to tip Collingwood by a goal. I'm really looking forward to the crowd. You know, it's the first time since probably 2011 that both teams have been a little bit up and about. You know, back then Collingwood finished top of the ladder. I'm pretty sure Carlton finished top 4 around that as well. And both games in that year, you know, Collingwood won by between 20 to 24 points. Carlton are the better side this year. So look, yeah, we're looking forward to see what the crowd's going to be. It's completely sold out, but that doesn't mean anything. A lot of people end up staying home anyway. Tipping between 80 to 85,000. Look, I think anywhere between 70 and above is going to be fantastic. I know a lot of people that are going to be going, both Carlton and Collingwood supporters. So look, really excited. I can't stop yawning. I can't believe it's really embarrassing. I'm really sorry. Yeah, so it's Collingwood versus Carlton at the MCG, Sunday the 29th of May. Yeah, one of the biggest games of the year, traditional rivals. And finally, it's a game worthy of the rivalry. So yeah, let's do it. Collingwood, Carlton, go Pies. So there we have quarter time. Well, beyond all my expectations that quarter. Collingwood 3-4 to Carlton 2-2. In fact, we should be actually a lot more in front. Missed a couple of, especially that last one from Ginnivan. Really should have put that one through. But look, we're doing well. Mounting up Vitesse, just got to clean up the middle of the ground because they are smashing us to the middle of the ground on particularly a clearance. So we'll clear that up. Then it's completely different. But look, still 3 quarters to go. Carlton might not have even gotten out of 3rd or 4th gear yet, so let's see how they go. It's a bit worried there. Carlton got off to a good start. They've been blowing teams out of the water early lately, so to be able to steady, that's really, really good. Goal kickers for the Pies, you've got Elliott side bottom, and Henry. For the Blues, you've got Curnow and Durden, who, again, Collingwood defending in the middle of the ground. They got over the top for a really lucky goal, but you know what? You get goals when you get goals. For the possession winners for Carlton, Hewitt's 11, Sard 10, Walsh, Doherty with 9. For the Pies, Adams 9, Josh Dacos 8, Noble, Howell 7. And that's so that's some of the main stats. Carlton had more possession. We knew that was going to happen. 3 kicks are even. Carlton slightly leading. Contested possessions and uncontested possessions pretty much even, other than a couple. Collingwood taking 4 marks inside 50 to 1, 10 inside 50. 10 hit outs to 5. Carlton 9 clearances to 4. As I was saying before, we've got to really clear that up. Otherwise, they'll be different. So there you go. Collingwood 3-4-22, lead Carlton 2-14. So we'll keep going. So in episode 275 million of things I could have predicted earlier, Carlton kicked the last 4 goals of that second quarter to take the lead, despite the fact that Collingwood was pretty much dominated 75% of this game, and that quarter kicked 1-4, I believe. My app open, yeah, kicked 1 goal 4 straight. 2 of them were easy misses. 2 of them were easy shots on goal, and then Carlton getting bounced through goals and snaps from the forward pocket after drop marks shows why one team's sitting 5-5 and the other one is sitting inside the top 4. Carlton kicked the last 4 goals of that game. Let's have a look. So goal kickers for the Blues. Curnow has 2, Chera, Walsh, Cripps and Durden have 1. For the Pies, Elliott, Henry, DeGoey and Sidebottom all have 1. Ginnivan has 2 behind. So we look at the disposals. For the Pies, Murphy has 13, Crisp, Dacos 12, Noble, Adams, Lipinski 11, DeGoey 10. And for the Blues, Hewitt 21, Chera, Doherty 19, for Walsh, Sard 18. Cripps has only had the 13 possessions, so if he starts to fire up in that second half, watch out. Carlton 30 odd more possessions. We knew that was going to happen. They're now leading the uncontested and contested possession, which will be worrying Fly. They take more uncontested marks. Collingwood 8 marks inside 50 for only 4 goals. It's disappointing. 19 hit outs to 11 were leading. Carlton leading the clearances 16 to 13. Collingwood with 1 more clanger. Collingwood 29 tackles leading 21, but that's simply because Carlton had more of the ball. Collingwood 24 inside 50s to Carlton's 32. Carlton been really good defensively, so we're going to have to manufacture a couple of new ways to get goals. I mean, our best so far. Look, Cox having a good game in the ruck, but yeah, they're specialists all over the ground. We're going to have to kick straight. That's how we're going to win this game. We need to kick straighter. If we keep kicking points and they're kicking goals from the boundary line, we're not going to win many games like that. But look, I'm happy how the boys have gone so far. Carlton are a much better team than us this year, so the fact they're only one goal down at half time, and considering Carlton also are fast starters too, so we've been able to nullify that as well. So look, maybe that hopefully this is Carlton's fast start and they drop off in the second half. We know it's not going to happen. It's Collingwood's the biggest game of the year for both teams. Carlton will probably have bigger fish to fry throughout the start of the year, but you never know. So look, it's a huge crowd, it's a massive crowd. Nathan Murphy's definitely been our best on ground, actually, come to think of it. He's doing absolutely everything. He's having a great game. Jeremy Howe's playing well. So there we have it. So Carlton 6-2-38, lead Collingwood 4-8-32. So there you have it. End of the third quarter. Look, the boys were terrific that quarter. You can't fault them. They gave it their all. Again, just lacked a bit of polish. Could have been further in front, but look, we kept the Blues goalless. I mean, they had 5 behinds that quarter, but a lot of them were rushed. So look, I'm so proud of my boys, you know, playing against the top 4 fancy, who were going for their biggest winning streak in a while, which is insane. Collingwood took 3-4 that quarter to Carlton's 5 points. Goal scorers for the, my hand is shaking, sorry, it's so cold out here. 4 goal scorers for the Let's Go Disposals. Hewitt's 26, Doherty 25, Chera Walsh 24, Sard 20. And for the Pies, Crisp 22, Noble, Dacos, just Josh Degoe has 18. See if I can give you goal scorers for the Pies. Sidebottom, Lipinski 2, Elliott, Henry, Degoe with the singles. And for the Blues, hasn't changed since half time. Curnow 2, Cripps, Chera, Walsh, Durden with their singles. Cox had an amazing quarter that quarter. When he presents, when he's confident, his height, he's basically unstoppable. And look at the stats. So again, they're leading the stats, but we went to work that quarter. More contested possessions. Took 6 marks inside 50 that quarter. It's insane. Anyway, look, I'm gonna get back up there. Collingwood are leading by 11 points at 3/4 time. This is definitely the scoring end that Carlton was scoring at this quarter, shooting at this quarter. So hopefully we can restrict them. That's all we want. Go play. Well, what can I say? I have made a point of pride to say that I've really mellowed out at the football. Don't go nuts or crazy anymore. But there's nothing like a game against the old enemy to get those little gremlins out. Go Pies, what a win. I'm stuck in my car park. Been here for 25 minutes. Serves me right for sticking around. I never stick around at the end of the game. I always, sing the song and then leave. But I thought I'd support the boys, and because that was a gutsy performance to beat a team that many predicted were going to beat us, and including myself. Sitting in third on the ladder before today. Kept hearing all week that the swagger was back and all that sort of stuff. But Carlton were amazing. They don't need a lot of opportunities to score, as we saw in the last 15 minutes of the second and last quarters. They don't need a lot of opportunities to score, and they did. And had Jack Silvani's shot at goal being 2 meters more to my right, his left, we'd be having a completely different conversation. But look, I'm really proud of the boys regardless of the effort. To be 23 points up late in that last quarter, probably should have shut things down a little bit more. But look, Carlton, they're third on the ladder. Were third on the ladder. They're 5th now, and there's a reason why. So final scores, Collingwood kicked 4-1 to Carlton's 5-2 in that last quarter. To Collingwood winning 11-13-79 to the Blues 11-9-75. Collingwood have now won 18 of the last 22 against the Blues. So we've had a really good run. Are we moving? I can't believe it. I'm actually moving. There we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's in the second half, the Pies kicked 7-5 to the Blues 5-3. We're a goal down at half time. Let's have a look at the players. I'll let one car through. Oh, there's three of you. I can't let all three of you through. Sorry, guys. Let's have a look at the goal kickers. For the Blues, for the Pies, Henry kicked 3, including a big clutch goal late in the last quarter. Side bottom 2, as well as Lipinski 2, Cox, Elliott, DeGoey, and Tyler Brown, all with singles. And for the Blues, Kerno kicked 5, Owies kicked 2, including a great, two back-to-back goals in that last quarter. So, big ups to him. Singles to Cripps, Walsh, Chera, Motlop, Durden, singles. It was interesting, that Motlop goal in the last quarter, why there wasn't paid kicking in danger. It was blatant kicking in danger. And look, in the end, I don't like the kicking in danger one being paid, but the one against Cox was paid, so with the third quarter. So anyway, it is what it is. As we have a look at the overall stats, the Blues with 60 odd more possessions. Collingwood ended up having more kicks. Blues 60 more handballs. They did ping pong it around quite a bit. In regards to marks, Collingwood more marks, more contested marks, more uncontested marks in the end as well. Had 18 marks inside 50. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, 18 to 9 inside 50. Dominated the hit-outs, 37. Our two ruckmen today was sensational today in Cox and Darcy Cameron were terrific. I'm very proud of how they went. Carlton won the clearances 33 to 28. Collingwood laid 5 more tackles, 55 to 50. Had 4 more shots on goal, and in the end had 5 less inside 50s, 56 to 51 in favour of Carlton, to win 11-13, 79 to 11-9, 75. As we go to, let's have a look at some stats. Look, in the end, the Blues had disposals. The Blues had 6 of the top 7 possession winners on the ground. So you could tell, they did ping pong the ball around. Probably could have been a bit more direct. Let's have a look. So top possession winners for the Blues: Walsh 35, Hewitt 31, Doherty 31. It's good to see Doherty back playing good football. Chera 30, Sard 27, Cripps 25. And for the Pies, Crisp 27, DeGoey 24, Josh Dacos 23, Noble 21, and Taylor Adams and Lipinski 21. So look, our defence really played well today. Like I said, on that 10 or 15 minutes in the second half, 8 of Carlton's 13 goals come in about a half an hour period. Late in the second and late in the last. So look, they fought Carlton. Got to give them credit. Got to give credit. Like I said, that's why they were in the top 4 before this game. As we have a look at my stats. So, and big ups. Look, so there's a lot of players that could have potentially got votes. Big Mason Cox played really, really well. Darcy Cameron played really, really well. Ollie Henry was a really focal target up forward, as with Jamie Elliott. Brody Mychek was one of his quieter games, as with Jack Ginnivan. It seemed like he was a little bit out of sorts a little bit today, Jack. I think now he's getting targeted a little bit. He's especially after that Switkowski thing last week. It's softened him up a little bit. Let's hope he has a big game next week. But yeah, let's do my votes. I'm going to give 1 vote to Jordan DeGoey. I thought he was immense, particularly in that second half. 2 votes to, I'm going to double vote. I'm going to give 1 vote to Jordan DeGoey and Mason Cox. I thought they were both brilliant. I'm going to give, change it again. I'm going to give 1 vote to Nathan, no, keep it, DeGoey and Cox. Yep, DeGoey and Cox. I'm going to give 2 votes to Nathan Murphy. I thought he was brilliant, except in the last 15 minutes of the second quarter, but the last 15 minutes of the last quarter, he was absolutely sensational, Nathan Murphy. It's the best game. In fact, I might double up to Nathan Murphy and Noble, particularly with that tackle late in the last quarter. Murph and Noble, you're going to give 2. So I've double voted twice. And best on ground. Oh, that's a big one. Look, I do want to say Jack Crisp, but I feel like I keep giving him votes. But look, he was immense today, Jack Crisp. He was, as he has been most weeks, he's been a shining light. Had Curnow not kicked those. So I think Curnow actually only kicked 1 goal from a set shot. All the others, 2 were Joey the Goose, and 1 was a snap after Jeremy Howitt took a mark. But had he not kicked 4, I probably would have put Darcy Moore there, because he played really, really well on Curnow. But yeah, so 3 votes to Crisp, 2 each to 2 each to Noble and Murphy, and 1 each to Mason Cox and Jordan Legoe. So there's my 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. So as we go to the ladder, actually I don't think we moved. We stayed 10th because the teams above us all shared the wins and losses. But now, more importantly, we're now equal 8th. The Doggies jumped the Tigers because the Tigers lost. So we're now equal 8th, and we're now only 1 game away from 6th, which is Geelong. We're 2 games, and we're 2 games out of the 4. That's terrific. You know, we're 6 and 5. That West Coast game's going to really come to haunt us at the end of the game, and we always knew it would at the end of the year, and we always knew it would. But yeah, so we sit at after 11 games. Let's get to where we are. 11 games, 6. So Collingwood sitting 10th. With 6 wins, 5 losses on 24 points, 962 points for, 935 points against, with a percentage of 102.9, which then takes us to the fixture. We play the Hawks next week at the MCG as we start to split bye rounds. The Hawks, as we know, they've been our bugbear team over the last 11 years. We've won 18 of the last 22 against the Blues, but it's pretty much the complete opposite against the Hawks. Then we have the 13th of June, the Queen's birthday game, the Freeze at the G against Melbourne, and then we have the bye. So look, Melbourne to Melbourne, pretty much, say we're going to lose that one. But look, if we can go into the bye at 7 wins, 6 losses, then I'd take that any day of the week. So that's it for me. Thank you everyone for joining and watching this video. Thank you everyone it's been an awesome weekend. It's been with both my boys. Cruel Intentions, I forgot to mention last night, the musical. I really recommend. It's funny, very very erotic, sexy, you might call it. And went skydiving yesterday too, so it was a terrific weekend. And of course, it's always good to beat the Blues. So well done, Pies. Thank you very much for making my weekend. Thank you very much for joining me this week on Jimmy and the Fat Man. Day off from shooting tomorrow. I'll be back on Tuesday with Taste Test Tuesday with Jimmy. From my family to yours, peace and good night.